What is up, guys? Sports Snippets. Dennis Sullivan, what's going on? Here to talk about NFC and AFC championship games coming up. Sunday, the 30th of January. It is now late night Saturday. Before I get started, you do like the content of this particular video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well. Before I get started, though, I got some thoughts on both these games. Bengals at Chiefs, 49ers at Rams. As we all know, two winners will play one another in Super Bowl 55 2 weeks later, in the middle of February, because now we got the extra week with the regular season, and now the Super Bowl isn't until the middle of February, and that's a whole other issue/topic. To perhaps be discussed at a later time. Now, a big story going on where I live in Florida is this big cold front that's come in. But you know what, guys? I'm going to talk to you about that for just 1 second. And I know that's not why I made the video here. I just want to touch on this real quick. The big concern, though, really should be in the middle Atlantic states, the Northeast, and New England. I mean, that's where the big focus should be and is on television. Here, I mean, if you're a local like me, I mean, you live here year-round, I think this is not only okay, I think it's great. I love this stuff. It was like high of 58 today or something like that. Low 38. Okay, it's a little extreme. You ask a lot of year-round residents, you probably still get a mixture of comments on that. I think it's a great change, though. As someone that just threw a few G's down on a resort/hotel room plus the flight and or gas to get here, okay, you might hear a little bit different feedback on that. You know, come to the Sunshine State and it's like 38 degrees. Okay, it's supposed to be my vacation, you know. So really, you have to consider your point of reference, right? So let's get to talk about some football, guys. What really interests me, let's talk the AFC game real quick first, I meant to say. Yeah, Chiefs are definitely should be favored, but where it gets interesting is you have a Bengal team with some high-octane position players that are all these young, athletic players, led by, now, of course, you have Joe Burrow, obviously. Jamar Chase. Now, this guy is a game breaker. He could take the game over himself. And if he gets some space early, makes some big plays early, look out. Look out, guys. Not to mention, second-year receiver from Clemson, T. Higgins, who, if I'm not mistaken, played on the Clemson team that went up against Joe Burrow at LSU. T. Higgins is a tremendous wide receiver as well. So that receiving tandem is fantastic, I think. Joe Mixon's a good running back. So as far as position players go, the Bengals are extremely strong. And they have enough to hang in there. Will it be enough? And they have Uzomah, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, he's a pretty good tight end. They don't use him, no one uses their tight end, I don't think, like the Chiefs do with Kelsey, who can stretch the field, and Kelsey has that unique ability to get 15, 20, 25 yards down the field relatively fast. Okay, and then of course you have Tyreek Hill, who could get involved in returning punts again or kicks. You never know. Tyreek Hill's a tremendous player. And of course Patrick Mahomes, who I just heard earlier today is 8-2 postseason career record, phenomenal quarterback. His only two postseason losses are to a guy you might have heard of called Tom Brady. So, Chiefs are at home. I mean, they got to be favored, right? This is played at a neutral site, though. I don't know, guys. And, you know, this will be an interesting game. It will. I think it will. In the second game, let's talk a little Rams-Niners. Playing in the same division, right? Rams, two completely different teams. You have Rams with all kinds of firepower. Stafford, you got obviously Cooper Kupp. Now you have Odell Beckham. Plenty of firepower. Okay, running back situation, they could run the football. Cam Akers now is back. Okay, so the Rams, rightfully so, are favored. They're not a big favorite, though. But where this gets interesting really is when it comes to the 49ers, they're such a resourceful team, such a scrappy team, that if they can figure out a way to just hang around in the first half, I think they got a very good chance to win this game. Deebo Samuel has quietly and quickly become one of my favorite players in the entire league with his I'll do it for the team kind of attitude there, and he's back there as a running back, in these formations. He's like a halfback. I'm telling you right now, guys, you know how many wide receivers would probably say, "Oh no, I'm good with that. Let me talk to my agent about this." When it comes to changing their role, not being a wide receiver, not being split wide on the left or the right, just running the ball off tackle or even up the middle. When they need 4 or 5 yards, if it's third down, they need some yardage. Deebo Samuel seems to be the go-to guy on this team, guys. Yes, he does. Jimmy Garoppolo, he could play big when needed. I mean, we'll see how he does. I like him. I mean, I think he's. I would rather have Matt Stafford as my starting quarterback, but it doesn't mean I don't like Jimmy Garoppolo. It's the Niner defense, though. The Niner defense is strong, and they played well against the Rams this year. I'll say it one more time. If they can hang around in that first half, stay within a touchdown, let's say, keep it a one-score game, they have a very good chance, guys. A lot of big names on that Niner defense, a lot of top performers on that Niner defense. It should be interesting. Okay, it's going to be very interesting. All teams phenomenally coached. All these coaches are awesome. You got a lot of young coaches that are going to be featured tomorrow. Don't forget, Rams have played in a Super Bowl just a few short years ago, as have the 49ers. As far as the Bengals, I'll talk about them in a second, and obviously the Chiefs. I mean, 3 of these 4 teams have all been in. The Chiefs were in the Super Bowl last year. As a matter of fact, Chiefs looking to become only the 4th team in NFL history to go to a Super Bowl 3 straight years. You had the Dolphins of the early 70s. You had the Buffalo Bills of the early 90s. And you had the Patriots of just a few short years ago. Believe it or not, guys, in 55 years of Super Bowls, the Chiefs, with a victory on Sunday, could join that elite group of teams, just 3 other teams, in advancing to the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight season. Which leads us to the Bengals. This is kind of mind-blowing. Let me leave you on this note. Okay. If the Bengals were to win, let's just pretend that happens. I don't know if it will happen, but let's just pretend that happens. This would be the 3rd Super Bowl for the Cincinnati Bengals in their history. They had that, and both were losses. Early 80s with Ken Anderson, they lost to the 49ers, Joe Montana. Late 80s with Boomer Esiason, they lost to the 49ers and Joe Montana. And all the other greats, Jerry Rice and all these other guys. Do you realize, if the Bengals were to win, if the 2 road teams were to win, that means, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it did happen, and the Bengals won, and the Niners won, That would mean that the Cincinnati Bengals would advance to their third Super Bowl franchise history, all against the same team. Which to me, now to you, that may not be mind blowing. That's a mind blower. That's like, what are the chances of that happening? So let's keep that in mind. And one last thought, the Rams have won a Super Bowl as the St. Louis Rams, but never as the Los Angeles Rams, right? They lost that game late 70s, believe it was actually played January of 1980. It's the LA Rams against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember that game as a kid? Do I? Fantastic game. Then they lost that defensive battle a couple years ago to Brady and the Patriots. So a little history, a little stuff to talk about. Stay warm, guys. Stay safe, especially, most importantly. Enjoy the football games tomorrow on Sunday, or today on Sunday, depending on when you're watching this. And I will see you, yes, you, very soon. Bye for now.